We're leaving. We've been evicted. Someone's taken over my home. Squatters' rights, am I right? You can have the house, but I'm taking these. We've been kicked out of the house and my tree burnt down for like the 3rd time since I built it. I'm thinking this is a sign. So I've been a busy bee gathering all of these blocks for our next project, and we're just about ready to get to building said project, but there's a few things I want to get done beforehand. I think for one, maybe let's go fix up that tree in the park a bit. And actually for that's it. I'm pretty much ready to get building. So not only are we moving today, but we're going to be building our first ever mega base in survival in this world and all together for me. And we're building it in the end. We are moving to the end. For a while now, I was thinking that it'd be time to move on from the village. It's not finished. I might have bitten off a bit more than I could chew. So before getting to the point where I just don't want to do it anymore, we're moving. We're going to come here and then kind of start anew. We'll probably be back into the village quite a bit anyways, because I'll have a lot of farms there. But I thought it'd be cool to try to do things elsewhere, and I thought the end would be kind of unique. And what's cool is that even if we head out far into the overworld, we just need to find more strongholds and they'll all lead back to here. So that's the concept. Alright, so I've gone ahead and built up our base on which we will build our base. And we'll take a look at it really quick, and I want to take this occasion to kind of explain the concept behind what we're doing in the end. So we're not just moving here for the sake of moving here. I think it's cool, so that's why we're doing it. But the concept is going to be kind of like, we're going to go with the theory that the end is either the far future or like somewhere in space or something. Kind of an amalgamation of those two things. And what we're going to do while moving here is we're going to build off this central point where I'm going to have the base, and we're going to try to bring back life to it. So we're going to act as if this endstone is like just a crust of what used to be here, and we're going to try to bring some more color and some more greenery back into the end as we're building up our base and expanding, which is why we got this kind of overgrownness here, because this is where I will have moved, and I've started to do that. And I switched it up from the original design for the platform that we had. If we go ahead towards the back, you can kind of see what I started off with, and I've been carving away at it to make it blend in a bit more. So we'll do that. We'll finish it up gradually, but at least now we have an idea of what we're working with. And we'll make a look at the front, which I think looks pretty cool. So yeah, we're going to bring in more mobs if I can. I think I can do that. We're going to bring in more mobs and make this place a lot more colorful, kind of like if we were trying to save it from whatever fate that happened. What I think I want to do is take the occasion to kind of mess around and maybe make some custom biomes as well. Like, I'm thinking of using the cars fruit here and trying to make some kind of custom tree that belongs to this world. So kind of like an alien world, but with elements of the overworld brought into it. But we're going to lean into the fact that it's not exactly like the overworld. So we're going to bring elements from the world to here to make it more fun to be in, but have it be its own unique little thing. And eventually we're gonna have to find a way to deal with these endermen. I'm thinking I'm gonna make a lot of this base spawn proof so they at least spawn far away, but it kind of is nice to have them walking around because, you know, it's movement in this life. I'm thinking what we might do is I'm gonna look up what the hermits do to make custom hats. I think they used carved pumpkins, but without it looking like pumpkins and without it obstructing their view. And maybe we can make a custom texture for us here. Anyways, that's neither here nor there, and it's not our problem right now, but it's just a thought. And one last thing before getting to building the base, what we're gonna do to kind of go along with the kind of space alternate dimension world building that we're doing is, that's why my skin's this way. In the last episode at the end, I made a shady deal with an enderman and experimented on myself, and now I have their power so I can breathe in here. But the other mobs cannot. They won't be able to breathe in here. So we're gonna have to make sure that all of our buildings and all of our builds have some kind of way to generate oxygen or some like air sealed location so that they can live. But that's enough yapping from me. I'm gonna deal with that guy down there and then get to building our base. You know, way back when I stopped using shaders because it kind of hurt my eyes in the overworld, I thought that decision was pretty final. But every now and again I put shaders back on to look at the world a bit and take some screenshots maybe, and kind of makes me doubt my decision. What do you guys think about it? Shaders, no shaders? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, here is our base all set up. So I just saw that I forgot to finish that little part. Doesn't matter, we'll do that later. So yeah, here it is. What do you guys think? It's pretty big. I think it quantifies as a mega build. So we'll take a bit of a closer look at some aspects of it and talk about the process a little bit. So for one, I like towers, which is why we started with this tower here. Let's get a bit of a further away view. There we go. So the first thing I built up was pretty much this tower, and you'll notice that the roof is kind of oddly shaped. And I did that because I really wanted a tower, but I want to challenge myself to not make the typical pointy wizardy roof, which was what I was going to do originally, but I thought it'd be cool to try something different. So this is where this came into effect, and we've got like really like distinct shapes. It's very geometric, I guess. And I think it gives it a kind of almost futuristic look, despite this being stone and whatnot, that blends itself to whatever style we're going for here. And I really like the tough walls and blocks here that make up these pillars. At first this was basalt and it looked well enough, but this I just think looks really, really cool. And yeah, and at first I had a lot more quartz in the design and it was a lot brighter. We had quartz outlining all this instead of the tuff, but I opted out for that. But to keep the hint of the quartz and to kind of have a link between this and the bridge, we have it as a kind of like underbellied accent, I guess. I don't know like what it would do structurally, but I think it looks cool. And I really tried to practice gradients and texturing a bit more, which you can see here, especially from afar. And what I did is I didn't do too much on the bottom, and that's for both builds, by the way. It's mostly just one block, and we kind of ramped up the texturing on the way up. This one is really more of a gradient, so we got some cracked deep slate bricks here, some basalt, that's smooth variant right there, and that's pretty much it for like this gradient. And it mixed in with some actual deep slate bricks, which are just a little bit lighter than the deep slate tiles. Now I did use Axiom to help out with this for the shapes and for like painting this in. Whoop. But yeah, this is the final result. And the roof up here, you'll notice there are 5 holes that we'll come back to later. Now for the other building, there's no roof. We'll do it eventually, but I have an idea for at least one of these roofs. I'm going to leave one of them open, the far one here, or we'll have a special kind of mechanism to actually get in from the top so that I can always fly in. You can't really tell from here. So before looking at the details of like what's going on here, spooky sound. If you look at this and you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that I am a fan of B-dubs. So this is inspired by his, I think it was season 9 Hermitcraft build, where he had like his big square base, cyberpunk base, and he had his first monolith and he linked them up with a long slim bridge. So obviously proportions are way different, but you know, that's where that came into effect. And if you look at these arches and the candle work here, may or may not be inspired by the Nether Hub in this season, but a lot bulkier, less detailed. I don't know, it kind of is like more cartoony with the big Z here for my name. And I think it works nice for the world that I'm in and what we're doing. If we go take a closer look at this, I guess we'll call this the main building here. You'll see the very obvious Z for my name up there with the windows. And I wanted to integrate some purpur since we're in the end, and I thought it'd be cool to use some of the blocks that are here. And since we're in the end, like it's just wackier in and of itself and compared to the overworld. So it feels like I have a lot more freedom to use more colors. So we used the purpur to get like our columns up the side here. I think it looks really, really cool to have that splash of color against the gray walls. And if we get closer up to the walls here, you can kind of see the same thing that I mentioned over here with this, where I tried to use texturing and gradients. This one is more so texturing. So what I did, as you can see in the bottom here, it's mostly just variants of tough. A lot more structured, since we're going to see that from up close, since we'll be walking a lot of the times. And the further we head up, the more texturing that there is. And what I did that was kind of weird, but I think it works for this build, is I wanted this to have texture and have a gradient, but I couldn't quite pull it off. And what I did is I added in these horizontal basalt like pillars here to kind of separate the levels of the gradient, and then inside those levels textured that, and it gives like this cool apartment building kind of look, but with this like I guess spacey fantasy block palette that I don't know quite how to describe what kind of style this would be or how to explain it, but I think it looks cool. It's like a cool little compromise between doing big gradients and texturing, but having it be within smaller areas. And I think it lends itself to a cool effect. We might have more things that we add onto the walls eventually, but I think it's a really good base. But I think my favorite part of this base is the bridge that we see in the middle here. So if you come up close, this is an expensive bridge. This is all quartz. It's all quartz. Quartz pillar, chiseled, smooth, pillar, block. But I think it really pops in between the two builds in a way that is really cool. And what I did to make it blend in is these grindstones here that kind of look like they're kind of mechanism to like, it almost looks like the bridge is slotted in like an extra piece. But this tough to grindstone to quartz allows it to transition really nicely. If I just take off this layer here and step back, you'll see that it's a bit too harsh otherwise. It was just like a white line, and I didn't quite like that, especially if you take a look back. It's like a bit too harsh for my liking anyways. But this adds a kind of like gradient to it, or like a transition, and it looks like structurally sound in some ways. It really looks like these are kind of gears or something to either move the bridge or keep it settled in place or something. I think it's really cool. It almost looks like the bridge could be like dropped down into the ground. I got inspired by, once again, B-dubs and smallish beans with these candles to kind of add some kind of magical effect underneath the arches that I think looks really cool and adds a nice like fairy tale fantastical vibe to it when you're walking through it. And for the bridge, we've actually gone ahead and started decorating the inside a little bit. Let's take a look. Sticking with really bright colors to go with the quartz. We just got some birch. These are the beehives that we spent a lot of time gathering, and we gotta fix this real quick. Nope, I think it looks really cool. Obviously, we have to open this up and actually link it to the buildings eventually, but for now, it's not too much of an issue. We got some lights up here behind the grates, and it gives us a nice view of either side of the base of this island that we're going to fill up. And I just think it's cool. So yeah, we've done it. We're moved to the end. Obviously, we got a lot more work to do with actually filling up the base and filling out the island, but you know, one thing at a time. We also gotta, whoop, we're getting chased. Finish up the actual like outside of the platform here and make it blend in a bit more. But in all due time, we'll do that a bit later. And for now, I think we could do something that is a bit less buildy. Actually, here, one last little walk around with some shaders on. It's really tempting, isn't it? I was proud of this base beforehand without the shaders, but with this, it's so magical. It's really tempting. It's really, really, really tempting. Alright, so I just came back for some Wither Skull gathering, which I think might be one of my least favorite things to do in this game so far. But I got 15 skulls, and we spawned in 5 withers, and got their tiers, and now we have 5 beacons, plus the one that I already have that is in my ender chest all start up, which is perfect, because we said that we needed 6 beacons. Also, last episode, we went ahead and built up this iron farm here, and if would you look at that, we got some iron in here, and we have enough iron for exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beacons here, plus some extra. So we're going to go ahead and grab this, and let's go place those in our new home. Alright, so just before doing that, I'm going to do a test real quick. Let's go in F1, and usually I play at around 30% brightness, and I wonder... Okay, let's take a reference. This is what it looks like right now in the end with that. No shaders. Now if I turn up the bright, just seems like the ground is a lot brighter, but the actual skybox is just as bad. If I put down to moody, oh, that makes a heck of a difference though. I'm wondering how this is coming across on video. If there's one that's easier to see, let me know. I think we're gonna stick at 30. I think it's a good balance between being readable, having some shadows. I feel like bright is just too poppy. Anyways, let's head up here to the roof where we had the holes, and we're gonna place down 5 beacons here. Okay, and a 1. And now I think we can actually share blocks for each base, and I want to make sure they line up with the holes. So the middle's got to be about here. All right, so while we're at it, let's go ahead and just test this middle one to make sure that I can get haste 2, and that'll let us know if we're properly leveling it. And we can. Okay, so let's get haste 2. Might as well set this one up too. Let's go with regen, and we'll go with speed. Alright, so now we have speed, resistance 2, regen, haste 2, jump boost 2, and strength 2. Now the speed honestly is just really fun. And apart from being cool, having all the beacons is just something I want to do. Like the jump makes it kind of feel like lower gravity, kind of going with our spacey kind of vibe, end of world spacey thingy. And regen and resistance and strength are all gonna like help me a lot with these endermen being kind of mean to me. Let's actually see how much damage we can cause with this. Stare right at him. Come here. Let's take a few hits. Okay. I don't know if I noticed the difference. Oh well, not in the range anymore. Am I not in range? No way, dude. Okay, now I am in range. Let's try again. Okay, so admittedly the range is a bit disappointing, but it looked cool, and I feel like the range was bigger in my test world though. Like, I'm right here. It doesn't have a vertical limit, does it? Oh yeah, what I was gonna say is we probably should, in that case, since this isn't working like we thought it was going to, slowly, maybe every episode we can grind out a beacon. Maybe not 5, because I really don't like wither hunting, but gradually like expand the reach of the beacons. Yep, that kind of looks cool. And notice that there are only 5 beacons. We said 6. So originally, don't know why I came all the way back here. I have everything in my ender chest. Originally, I had a little something going on the roof of that building right here, kind of like an energy ball kind of thing with a beacon going through it, but it turns out I didn't quite like the design, so we might add it in the future. But within that I had the beacon. So yeah, since we don't have a roof, what we're going to do for now is we're just going to set it down temporarily in here so we can get some of the effects while we're working. And I guess over on this side, if there's anything I want to use more, is we'll just have some more speed. Now that our base is in place, we can actually go ahead and get to work on taking over, revitalizing the end and getting some cool projects up and going. And I think this is, I love this. This is, I think this is my new favorite build. I think we're just about ready to call it for today's episode, but I think I will go and hunker down and we'll finish off platform at least. We'll decorate the back like we did the front and the sides. Maybe I'll even decorate the top of the platform a little bit, and then we'll be able to say goodbye for today. Alright, so let's take a little final look-see through this base here. I got pretty much most of the platform all done here with the shaping and the edging with the leaves. And I really like it. It's not much, but it gives us a nice base to really build off of and kind of an idea of a palette. I started decorating with some leaves on the actual platform, but I think I'm going to leave that to the next episode. I kind of have to do landscaping and terraforming in short doses. Also, you might have noticed that I decided to finish this video off with some shaders. These are actually the mellow shaders, which is what I started off the series using. And I don't know, guys, it kind of... Maybe it's just because we're in the end dimension and it's darker than the overworld, so it's not hurting my eyes and it's just a nice change of pace, but I kind of like it. And I don't know if I should keep it in the series or if we should go back to just straight up vanilla. This does look really cool. Let's just quickly flip them off. Here's the base without it. And I think it does look pretty cool without the shaders. I really like how the leaves kind of make the line less harsh between the end stone to the moss. And I'm really looking forward to keeping the series going and like expanding upon this base in the end dimension and making something really unique. I'm really excited for this project. So with all that being said, thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see some more, then please subscribe. And let me know what you guys think about the base in the comments. And if you have any ideas, I have quite a few, but this is going to be pretty big. It's going to take a while to fill out, but it's going to be real fun. So once again, thank you, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.